Hello, Wankers.
What's up, Vankahs?
Ni hao, Vankahs. China in the books. Kimi Antonelli, the second youngest race winner in F1 history. Lewis Hamilton back on the podium. Max Verstappen bitching in the press. Guenther, first impressions of the Chinese GP.
The first impression is I didn't know that you speak Mandarin, and because you speak Mandarin, it looks like. Can you say subscribe in Mandarin?
Now you're really...
No, now I got you. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Ni hao.
We should put it in text over the screen right here. Subscribe, baby. Subscribe.
Yeah. Ding Yue. Jenny put it in. Ding Yue. I probably butchered that. Ding Yue.
That's right.
Guenther, your countrymen. Your countrymen. I got to get your first impressions. Your countrymen won the Italian GP. He started crying. Did you get emotional? Were you choking up?
No. You know, I don't do that. I was very happy for him, but I didn't cry for him, you know. I was happy for him. Obviously, I understand. I mean, it's a young kid, you know. And this is what, think about the effort they put into this. And I always think like this, how many people try to achieve this and don't, you know? And then when you get the guy or the person which does it, it must be, you know, how much effort from his family as well got into this, you know. It's not easy to get there, so...
You're a robot.
It was 5 in the morning, 4:30 in the morning where I was, you know. I was like, should I go back to sleep or should I stay up? Guess what? I stayed up, you know. That was my issue with it, you know.
And then you were crying for other reasons. All right, well,
exactly.
We got so much to discuss in this episode. We got Mercedes domination. Can Kimi actually bring this championship to George? We got the Ferrari battle. Lewis back on the podium. The McLarens not even starting this race. And all of the press around Max Verstappen's comments post-race. But before we get into that, let's cue the music.
No fuck smash, my dog. I'm Toto fucking Steiner and I'm back for more. No fuck smash, my dog. I'm Toto fucking Steiner and it's time for...
And we're back. Okay, Guenther, we need your Rockstar and Wanker for the Chinese GP. Guenther, who was your Rockstar for China?
I mean, it must be Kimi, yeah. Winning your first Grand Prix, you deserve a Rockstar there. You know, he did everything right, you know. Took it home. Fantastic, I think. There is no doubt about who is the Rockstar.
What did you think of the weekend in total? Because it seemed like, you know, on Saturday he did get a little bit maybe lucky with that pole position. George had trouble in Q3. But then Sunday he really showed poise and was able to kind of hold off George, you know, keep the gap to him and really dominate that victory. Do you think that this is a big step for the young Italian?
I think it gives him a lot of confidence because there was an opportunity for him because under normal circumstances in a moment to beat George is very difficult, and I think he's aware of it. Not because he's George a better driver. No, George has got a lot more experience. You know, he's doing this a lot younger. He's very quick as well. But as soon as it happened, what happened to George that he couldn't do in qualifying a second run, he took the opportunity and kept it. He didn't make a mistake, and that is what he sees that and says, actually, I can do this, and that will help him going forward. So. But he didn't make anything wrong. It was easy to do something wrong when you are in this position. He kept his cool.
Yeah, we've seen how long it takes very good drivers to get their first win. I mean, it took Lando Norris a long time, and Kimi got his first opportunity and he took it. And I think that reflects very well on him, and hopefully he can build on that.
He will build. He will build on it. Yeah, he will build on it. Sorry,
and this brings us to the real question, because you know Mercedes this is a rocket ship. The likelihood that anyone's really going to close that gap this year is unlikely. The question remains then, can Kimi Antonelli actually take the fight to George Russell? Do you think that he actually has a shot of potentially winning the 2026 WDC?
No. If not something special happens like it happened in China, in qualifying. And the good thing is he took it there, but under normal circumstances, and I think it is also understandable why not. The kid is 19 years old, second year in Formula One, and George is a good race car driver. So I don't think he can do it this year, but there is other opportunities for Kimi. If he doesn't win it this year, he can win it another time because he's so young. For me, he doesn't have to put too much pressure onto himself to win it this year. He has got a good future in front of him.
Okay, Guenther, I got to ask you about this. After he won, Toto gets on the radio, and he says, "They said this about you. They said that about you. Everybody told me I was an idiot for bringing you up too fast." What did you think about that radio? I hated that radio.
Oh, it was total self-promotion, huh?
Yeah.
It's like,
yes!
Yeah. It was total self-promotion. Make sure that everybody knows that I didn't do anything wrong. And Toto wouldn't need that. But I think he has got like a little bit of a complex there. I mean, the guy won. You don't need to explain it now, Toto. Everybody believes it. You can see it, you can feel it, you can hear it. You don't have to tell everybody, because everybody doubted me. No, I mean, in the end, Kimi did it and not Toto. You always have to respect that as well,
Right. Guenther, it would be like when Nico Hulkenberg you hired Nico Hulkenberg. He came back. He started scoring points, out qualifying, doing great. And you get on the radio and say, "Everybody thought you were washed up. Everybody thought you were a piece of shit.
I, the great one,
Yeah, exactly. Crazy. You would never do something like that.
No, but I told you it's a little bit. I don't know. And Toto, as I said, he doesn't need to do that. I don't know why he does it, but hey, to each his own. I mean, I'm not.
Well, we see that he can get feisty. He can get a little bit feisty. He definitely hears the chatter. Is what that was obvious. In that radio.
Yeah.
He was making. Yeah, you're right. He made Kimi's moment kind of about him. I said on our other podcast, it was as if he gave Kimi a hug and patted himself on the back at the
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you couldn't see Kimi anymore. You could just see.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah.
Well, okay, you're kind of dashing our hopes here. I guess the thought that we have, obviously George is the more experienced driver. Obviously, this Mercedes is a rocket ship. But I guess the kind of what we can hope for, I guess, as fans wanting the season to be interesting, is that it feels like this Mercedes is so strong. A 1-2 is somewhat guaranteed, at least for the foreseeable future. Maybe there's a time later in the season where that doesn't become a reality. And if Kimi can kind of hang around and maybe put some pressure on George, maybe there's a world where George starts to feel that pressure. If Kimi can actually start to make a little Oscar Piastri run, we saw how Lando started cracking when Oscar made that unexpected jump. Do you think if Kimi does maybe have a little Oscar Piastri run, that George might crack and feel the pressure a bit?
I'm sure he will, but I don't think George will get in that position. That's my feeling. It's like he's so calm about everything, and George knows this is his opportunity. This is his to lose. But he is very strong. Drives very well. And the only thing what I would say is that, we jump to the conclusion, this will be now Mercedes until the end of the year. I think the other Mercedes teams will learn more about their car, how to manage their PU, McLaren, more than anybody else. I think Mercedes will be strong, but will be somebody taking the fight to them? I think so. I think at some stage somebody will take the fight to them because the development this year will be tremendous. How people get better and how people learn to get more out of the car. Because I do not think that all the other teams, and I think Mercedes is best prepared for that, is better prepared than anybody else. But I think the other teams have got more more in the pipeline to discover, to make their cars better. With stuff already there, not to develop or anything. It's just like to get the more out of the package they've got.
Okay, so you talk about low-hanging fruit, right? They got more low-hanging fruit than Mercedes.
Mercedes,
I want to drill down because of the situation in the Middle East. We have 5 weeks off after Japan, right? Do you think that is actually, obviously it's a horrible situation, but in terms of competitively, that's great news for these teams that are struggling and bad news for Mercedes?
So I've got a question. 5 weeks. What are you guys doing in 5 weeks? There's nothing to do. Are you going on holiday?
Guenther, we're still doing pod.
Hey, Guenther, the three of us are going to be busy.
I'm going to be on holiday in 5 weeks. There is no MotoGP race because
no.
Guenther, if Formula One can't entertain, then who will the people turn to? Us.
S3E3.
Fill the gap.
We got to fill.
You know what?
We built the bridge. Yeah, we will bridging it. Yeah.
Here's what we should do. We should all fly in to North Carolina. Come to your house. We'll find a local go-karting track, and we'll put on our own Grand Prix, the Vankah Grand Prix.
Yeah, there's a lot of them around, So, and there is one of the best go-karts circuits in the US, in Mooresville, So,
Yes.
So anyway.
Guenther, you don't remember you already agreed to this? You agreed to put us up in the nicest hotel in North Carolina. You don't remember we had this conversation?
The nicest hotel? We're going to be in his house, I believe, is what the contract
That's right.
is.
Which is the nicest hotel. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Guenther, when was the last time you rode on a go-kart? When was the last time you rode on a go-kart?
Oh, that was a long time ago. That was maybe 5-6 years ago.
That's not that long ago. How'd you do?
Shit. I'm not good. I'm just not good.
Is this against? Wait. In what context? Because we heard that there was a team principal.
No. I was not in that. No. Okay. I never took part on. If there was one, no. It was. I think in Denmark. I did something with Kevin there. Yeah, but I'm useless. But at least I admit it. There's a lot of people say, but I would be a lot faster if I would be lighter and all. No, I'm heavy. I'm slow.
Yeah, who is that? Who do you think?
Who's the worst driver of like the Formula One Supremos? Who that you would be surprised? Who have you seen behind a wheel that's that's an administrator executive that's a horrible driver?
I wouldn't know that because I never raced them. There is quite. Zach is pretty good in a race car. As much as he doesn't look like a race car driver,
Right.
A NASCAR driver. He could be a NASCAR driver, yeah.
Sure.
Toto is pretty good in a race car. Because he was a race car driver. I think Christian is not too bad.
Christian's not bad, but what about like Fred? Have you ever been in traffic?
I think Fred is as useless as me.
Right. That's what I
think that one of the few I can beat is Fred. Yeah, I think I could beat him, yeah. Otherwise I just push him off, So,
Right. Yeah. I want to see you and Fred in a rally car together, and one of you giving directions to the other. That would be prime.
Yeah, that would be fun. Yeah.
But Fred can only speak English.
That's right.
That would be fun.
But the question remains: we got these 5 weeks off. Who does this benefit competitively? Is this a good thing?
Everybody except Mercedes.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a benefit for all the other ones. They can go back and do their work, do their homework, and obviously Mercedes will do their homework. But because I think their fruit is not hanging as low, they need to reach higher, while the other ones can go back and calmly look at what they had in the first 3 races and then go from there.
And when you say low-hanging fruit, can we just name what that is? Because a lot of the teams are overweight. I think McLaren's overweight. Williams is overweight. There are reports that Red Bull is very overweight. Everyone on this podcast is overweight.
It's overweight, yes.
But other than maybe trimming down some of the kgs, what else can these teams look for these 5 weeks in order to maximize?
Management of the PU. Just how managing that electric power. How you manage it best. And they've got a lot of data now. Analyze what the other teams are doing to manage it, and just get better at it. Just get better at it and get better prepared for the races which are coming up. To get there more prepared on Friday when they hit the track.
And it's also 2 fewer races before the June sort of compression ratio
deadline.
Do you think that's going to screw Mercedes at all? What do we think? What are we thinking?
I do not think so. It will do a lot to them. What it doesn't do, it doesn't help them, you know. But
Right.
will it really damage them performance-wise? If it is, it's very little. And maybe they make it up somehow differently. But obviously they need to do some stuff, and I don't know exactly what they need to do. But it's not an advantage, but will it be like that we are coming back, or when this deadline is over, that all of a sudden they've got 20 horsepower less? No.
Okay, so we've hit your Rockstar. Guenther, who was your wanker for China?
I think there's a big list of wankers. We just have to pick the biggest one, you know. It's like
Well,
nobody's
let's list.
Yeah, let's give me a list. What are the candidates?
We've got, the McLarens not getting anyone out there. We've got Audi. Bortoletto didn't even, suit up.
Last time, Hülkenberg didn't make it. Yeah, so that doesn't help them.
Yeah.
That's 2 races in a row. Where,
Checo
Piastri
took out his.
Yeah, Checo took out.
Yeah, the Cadillacs. I think they will be a contender all the time. You know, so
as will the Astons, obviously.
Yeah, exactly.
Alonso said that he was like he couldn't feel. He was driving without his hands at one point. He was
Without
just
his
like
hands,
the vibrations were too, violent on his hands that he had to stop, literally holding the steering wheel.
Yeah, rumor is that he still cannot drink a coffee because he spills it.
Yeah,
it's bullshit,
He's so shaky.
So shaky. Yeah.
Max Verstappen dropping to the back of the grid 2 races in a row. I don't know what. Pick the litter.
Yeah, we've got the pick of the litter here. It's like, oof. And I'm sure we forgot someone. Yeah, Ocon running in on the way to points, running into Colapinto. That wasn't clever.
But at least he took ownership of that. At least he said,
that was
my
I
fault,
think that was difficult to deny. I think the best thing there to do is, I did something wrong. The people feel sorry for you, because you couldn't argue that.
What about the other thing, Guenther? The commentator, the announcer
Kimi
on the
Räikkönen,
podium.
Kimi Räikkönen,
I mean, Guenther, how did they fuck that up?
I mean, not even I can be this bad, I mean, you cannot be drunk enough to do that, huh?
Even Kimi Räikkönen wouldn't be drunk enough to do that.
Exactly. Even he would remember his name, So.
Yeah.
Also, you can't think of someone who is more diametrically opposed to Kimi Antonelli than Kimi Räikkönen. I mean, Kimi Antonelli's
exactly.
like crying after his first win. He's like, looks like a baby still. And then Kimi Räikkönen's the most just like weathered, He's like drinking a beer, smoking a cigarette. He's never shown a single emotion in his life other than anger, And he's Finnish. It's like he's blonde. Kimi's Italian.
Finnish.
It's like these are the opposite people.
Yeah, but I think McLaren deserves it because having 2 cars, that is for the world champion. They are not a mediocre team. They are. Can you imagine how happy the sponsors were?
Brutal.
Yeah.
Brutal.
I think.
What do you say to
there?
what do you,
because who's to blame for this thing? Because what they have said is that HPP, gave them certain information. They were following the guidebook that they were given, and they've had these issues. Like, is that really a McLaren fuck up, or is this another kind of evidence of Mercedes kind of giving these guys opaque?
Maybe a page was missing. Maybe a page was missing on the instructions. How to use an F1 engine, page missing,
Yeah.
I mean, I find that one a little bit because they have done all the testing. They've done a race without a problem. It looks like. I mean,
right.
I don't know if they had a problem in testing. I wouldn't know, but I never heard about it. And now they were running perfectly on Friday. They were running perfectly on Saturday. They were perfectly on the sprint race. Everything, and then all of a sudden, we're not giving the right information. So you must have had the right information because it was working before. So that seems to be a little bit far-fetched to me, but
okay.
Mistakes happen, and they happen to the best, and it happened to a good team, So, but therefore, they need a wake-up call because maybe they got a little bit complacent after winning 2 World Championships, and it's like, okay, we are the kings here and somebody else takes our place and we're upset now. So...
But it seemed like it was an engine problem, and why are their engines not working and the Mercedes engines are flying?
Yeah, but Mercedes has no interest. Yeah, but in the engine, obviously the engine is managed by the Mercedes people, but how to use the engine is managed by. And it's all connecting. There are interfaces with the rest of the car with the engine, so it could be anything. It's difficult to say what it was, but I don't think that Mercedes did something wrong first of all on purpose. I would completely say that is not going to happen because you don't do that in this sport, and nobody needs to do that, and especially not Mercedes because they were not a threat to them anyway.
They are a threat to them because they were
the conspiracy
team of theirs and they won 2 championships. And
but they're not going to win in this one.
Mercedes board not like Mercedes was not embarrassed these last couple of years. Is there not like you say that like that wouldn't happen in this sport? Guenther, this sport is riddled with cheating scandals. This sport is just, how far do you have to go? It's like people are doing shady shit in the history of Formula One all the time.
It's all legit people there. Conspiracy theorists,
Where at Mercedes?
Guenther, Flavio is in the sport right now. How can you say there's only legit people? He had a lifetime ban and he's currently running Alpine. What are you talking about?
He's got the Mercedes
not like
engine.
The bad old days. Not like the bad old days.
No. I think it was Flavio because he has got a Mercedes engine, and thanks to that Mercedes engine on the McLaren not working, they got into the points.
Right.
With 2 cars.
Flavio.
The other conspiracy theory is that Lando's car was broken first, and then Papaya rules they had to break Oscar's car in order to make it fair between them. That's
so you think a mechanic came out with a hammer and hit the ECU?
Papaya rules.
Rules.
But practically speaking, you've been a customer team. You get the Ferrari engine. Do you ever have a power unit? Did you ever have a power unit failure because you guys fucked up the packaging, or it was your fault that the Ferrari engine?
Oh yeah. We did everything, we forgot to connect water pipes. We forgot to. Oh yeah. Okay. No, honestly, yeah. You name it, we did it. Sensors, cables, everything. Yeah.
So there is a chance that it was a user error of the Mercedes engine.
It could easily be. I don't think it was like, but I do honestly think there was no intentionally done something to them that they don't start because you wouldn't do that.
No, I don't think that's intentional. I don't think just to be clear, I don't think that someone took a hammer to the engine in China. I think what the confusion is that this Mercedes engine with the Mercedes is a rocket ship, and all their customer teams that have the same engine are kind of scratching their heads and also talking in the press about that what we're able to extract from our engine isn't anywhere close to what Mercedes is, and I guess that's where the disconnect is maybe happening here.
I can explain that to you.
Okay.
I can explain that to you. When you're a manufacturer, and I said that month ago, the manufacturer will have an advantage here because they get everything earlier, but not intention. It is what it is. You're the manufacturer, your designers tell the engine people what you want from them, You get the cooling data before the other people because you need to test the cooling data if it actually works on the car, and you cannot give that data to the teams until you know that it's working. The same is with with all this energy recovery. Who you think started first doing that? Mercedes themselves. It's an advantage of 2 to 4 weeks, which we just discussed before. Now, in the holiday, when we are all on holiday, that is where the other teams will catch up, at least some of it. Because Mercedes is at a very advanced point, and the other ones, there is low-hanging fruit, as Matt said. So that is how I explain it. The manufacturer, has always got an advantage over that. And you need to find your own, how you recoup energy. That's the team's problem. I don't think even by regulation the manufacturer can give you that data. You need to find out yourself, and it takes time. And if you have got the hardware 4 weeks before the other ones, guess what? You've got a 4 weeks advantage.
Okay.
But
Okay, so
still,
maybe-
McLaren should connect all the cables.
Okay, so you think that maybe after this break, we've got Japan, obviously, we can maybe expect that it will be a little bit of the same, situation that we had. But then after this break, when we get back, when we're in Miami, there will be, hopefully, the Mercedes, crew will have made a significant jump. I guess the question that I have for you then
McLaren
is...
crew.
McLaren.
Well, sorry, the Mercedes engine crew. The people, the people that have the Mercedes engine. I guess the question is that, the other manufacturer that's in this game right now is Ferrari, and we've seen impressive stuff from them. Obviously, they have the advantage at the starts. In race trim, they're not as bad. They're not as off the pace as they are on a Saturday, but they're still off the pace. As much as they can get ahead on the line and get that lead. We saw it at the start of the race. Kimi Antonelli was not even concerned with the Ferraris. He had one concern, which was George Russell. He needed to have track position on George Russell because he knew he could get these Ferraris in 2 laps, which is what he ultimately got them in. So I guess the question is, as you see this season progressing, do you think that Ferrari can really be ahead of those other Mercedes customer teams, of the McLaren, as they kind of develop, or is this Mercedes engine that much better that if McLaren figures their shit out, they'll even potentially be ahead of the Ferrari?
No. I think the Ferrari will do some development as well. It looks like it's a good car. As you say, they need to find something, but they're not bad. I think they're pretty good. Obviously, Mercedes is good this year. We said it before, but the other ones will catch up, So I don't know. If I would know that one, what is coming in the next 6 months, I wouldn't be sitting here with you two guys,
That's right. Well,
have you fallen asleep, Matt?
No, I'm just absorbing the insult.
Okay.
Just absorbing it.
Taking
Just
it all in.
Absorbing
Taking it
it and remembering it forever.
Okay.
For the rest of my life.
Well, obviously the Ferraris had a great battle there. The Red Bulls, the other top team, looking extremely slow, extremely weak. I mean, they are a second plus off the pace on a Saturday, and Max Verstappen's had 2 tough starts in a row. Ultimately, his race was what it was in China. As much as he tried to launch a comeback, it wasn't really meant to be for him. Had to retire. Didn't he retire from the race, or am I stupid?
Yeah, he did.
Yes, he retired from the race.
Yeah.
What do you think is going on at Red Bull? There are reports that they're overweight. Do you think that this Red Bull is a dud, or do you think that they can make improvements as the season goes along? How high is their ceiling?
I think that what they most suffer in the moment is the power unit, more than anything else. I wouldn't. I don't know if they're overweight. If they're overweight, I don't think it's bad overweight. It's not a Williams. So, but I think it's just like making a power unit. And maybe in Australia they overperformed for what it was, and we all were thinking this is all good, And now reality sets in, and they have got some work to do. I think their weakest point in the moment is the power unit, but understandable because they do it the first time. I mean, it's the same with Audi. It's like it's not easy to do this stuff. Competing with Mercedes and Ferrari on a power unit, which people which know what they're doing. Look at Honda, how much they struggle. They've done F1 power units before, and I still think it's very respectful what Red Bull Ford is doing and what Audi is doing on their power unit. But to come out with something new against the best of the best and hoping that you're better than them, good luck with that one. It normally doesn't work out like this. So I think they need a little bit of time, and they will catch up. But obviously they are not used to it, and we are not used to it, that Red Bull struggles. And therefore, maybe we all look at that.
They can't all, but here's the thing. They can't all catch up, right? In the last reg set, one team caught up to Red Bull, and it was McLaren. They were the ones that challenged at the end of the regulation set. So if you had to put your money on who is going to catch up, or maybe if we're lucky, we'll have a 3-way fight. History says that we might not get that lucky, but at least recent history. If you had to put your money on who is going to, at the end of the regulation set, like who are the 2 teams that are going to be slugging it out, who do you
At
put
the
your
end
money
of
on
the
at this
regulation,
point?
you are talking about 2031.
Yeah,
Or-
when
whoa.
when they converge, right?
Oof.
Because at the end of
I mean,
the end
it
of
will
the
be-
last reg set, it was Mercedes and it was Red Bull caught Mercedes. At the end of this last one, McLaren caught Red Bull. So when these things converge, historically speaking, one team catches the other, and it gets kind of interesting.
I mean, last time when McLaren catch the Red Bull was very unexpected, so that was out of the blue, to be honest,
Right.
So, but I would say if I would have to put my money on two, would be Ferrari and McLaren. All the other ones, Red Bull, it's a long shot to say Red Bull will catch up because they've got a lot of catching up to do, because the other ones don't stand still. And the rest of the teams, nobody will catch up because it's just like always this gap of infrastructure, people, drivers, they are all in that other group of people, So I think I tell you the obvious here, but if I only would have to pick one, I would put my money almost on Ferrari this time.
All right, so that brings me to my next question, and then we'll get to the gas or break of this later. But is Max going to go to Mercedes? If that's the case, is Max jumping ship?
Max is saying he's done with this regulation. He wants to stop. So he's retiring.
I
Do
know.
you
He says a
believe
lot
that?
of shit. Do you
No.
believe that?
No.
Right. So then,
Okay,
is
so if Red
the
Bull
obvious
continues-
choice
yeah.
is the obvious choice that he wants to go to Mercedes? Is that
Absolutely.
that's-
I mean, but if you're a driver, where would you want to go in the moment?
Of course, you'd want to go to Mercedes. The question is,
I don't think
does
you want to
that
go to
happen?
Aston
But
Martin or to Cadillac. Yeah?
Does
So-
it happen?
It-
Does Toto? It's like right now George Russell's sitting pretty. Looks like it's his championship to lose. But you just talked at the beginning of the episode how much they've invested in the young Kimi Antonelli, and he's maybe starting to take shape. He's starting to take form, and there can only be two drivers on a team as much as Toto would like for there to be four. He wants Lewis back on the team. He wants Max on the team. He wants everyone on the team. Everyone's a Mercedes driver according to Toto.
Except us three, he wants,
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Do you think that one of those boys is getting replaced, and if so, who?
I do not think so, because as you said, he will not replace Kimi Antonelli, because it's thanks of Toto, Kimi Antonelli is there, It's about Toto there, So he will not replace him. There's no chance of that one. If George wins the World Championship, why would you replace a World Champion with somebody else? I mean,
It's Max.
Again,
If
it's Max.
You're Toto Wolff. Max picks up the phone. He says, "I want to come to Mercedes." You don't think Toto Wolff is firing George the next day?
No. It's also, I mean, for sure, Max doesn't come for less money than he gets at Red Bull, and I think the salary gap between Max and George is still something which, as an influence, it's not $5,000, it's a little bit more. So, you've got you've got the world champion. I mean, he hasn't won the world championship yet, George, but we all speculated or we all anticipate that he was going to win it, So it's like difficult. Oh, I sacked the world champion. He did a fantastic job, but I get rid of you. And I'm pretty sure that George will have something in his contract that they cannot let him go if he wins the world championship. I mean,
Right.
I think that is the most logic one. We don't even need to speculate about the other shit,
I want to speak to the salary thing. Max is paid a lot more than George, obviously.
Yeah.
Like maybe 3-4 times as more. But I want to talk about the economics of hiring a driver like him. Is he so popular and so marketable that he kind of earns his money back for the team in terms of sponsorships, in terms of fans, in terms of merch? Like, is it like George is not driving as many T-shirts and sponsorships as a Max Verstappen? So yeah, he's a quarter of the price, but is he bringing in the same amount of revenue? Like, do you understand? Like, the economics, do they kind of offset each other at a certain point?
At a certain point, yes, but I don't think Max is the best example where you take the marketing value the only driver which actually brings a lot to it is Lewis, in my opinion. All the other ones, I mean,
Lando.
guys, you need to sell a lot of bloody T-shirts, to make millions. So
Right.
I mean, even if Max sells a lot of orange T-shirts, but you need to sell a lot of them.
But what about sponsors? They bring in sponsors like a Lando.
I mean, the sponsors
like
come
Lewis.
with the success of the team. I think if George wins and Max wins, the sponsors come anyway to the team. Obviously, if you get an added value like Lewis, that brings you more, I would say. But there, as you say, Max is very popular in certain areas of the world, mainly Netherlands.
I don't know. I think he's well. It's interesting because Lewis, engages more with his stardom. Lewis
stardom,
is like Lewis, recognizes and cultivates his brand, right?
Yeah.
So that to the point when Ferrari hired him. Ferrari's a publicly traded company. Their market, they went up. Their stock shot up 10%. They added close to $1 billion in their market cap just from the Lewis announcement alone. So that you bring that element of it into it immediately. Also, Ferrari is much more of an oiled machine with regards to merchandise. With regards to you see Ferrari hats everywhere. It's a publicly traded company. They make money off of merch. They make money off of all this kind of stuff. Whereas Mercedes, there's the Mercedes brand, there's the Mercedes, Benz, but then the actual team, the separate entity, it's kind of like a different situation. But I guess I would say that Max Verstappen, he's, when you talk to people who don't really know anything about this sport, they know two names. They know Lewis Hamilton. They know Max Verstappen. That's really like he's reaching a bit of a critical mass in terms of, popularity.
Mainstream popularity.
But I think his mainstream popularity comes from winning championships, not of being Max. So I think his mainstream popularity depends more on his race results than anything else.
Of course,
and that is what you get. But you have got that one anyway. If you win the world championship with George Russell, so I don't think.
I want to drill down because it's so interesting because it's a different calculation if you're Haas or you're Williams, right? Where you're like trying to run a profitable race team. But I guess, Mercedes, like Brian said, is more complicated. But isn't the goal of a lot of these teams to sell fucking cars, right? And these are sort of marketing machines. So like, do you sort of weigh that? Like Red Bull is a marketing machine. Right.
Yeah, but they don't sell cars; they sell cans. So that's what I was going to say. For Mercedes, for sure, they want to sell cars, but the marketing is done by their commercial partners. So they want to sell. And however they can, and the best thing to sell is having success. So you need if you have got a driver which can win, you don't need another one.
Okay, so then let's play that scenario then. So let's say. Mercedes, as much as Toto might want him in George's contract, if I'm winning championships, you can't get rid of me. He stays. He wins the next 3 championships, and Max is saddled at a slow Red Bull. Does he leave? If that door is closed and the opportunity for him to win championships with a regulation set that he's it keeps railing against, and we're going to get to that in a little bit, like. What do you think he does? What's his move?
I mean, I think we can start a conspiracy here. That Mercedes wants to buy the shares in Alpine. They want to buy them to put Max in there.
Well, this is a very
Are you serious? Are you fucking with me?
I'm fucking with you. I just made it up. This is just made up shit.
That's right.
But you would go for it. I almost had you there.
You're going to get a Google alert tomorrow.
Guenther, I take you very seriously. Well,
what do you think of, before we get into gas or break, what do you think of that whole situation over at Alpine that, it seems that there's 2 bidders for this 24% stake in Alpine, and it is a consortium led by one Christian Horner, and the other consortium is led by one Toto Wolff. Who do you think is getting ownership stake in Alpine, Guenther?
I know what he's going to say. Whoever has more money.
You know that one, Matt. Whoever gives Outro Capital more money, they will say, buddy, you're my friend, you know. Money is no, you know, so, but...
okay, but I want to ask, should this be allowed? From two perspectives. Should F1 allow this? And if I'm Mercedes, would I want this? If I'm the Mercedes board, I'm like, you're going to own two teams? Like, fuck you. You can't own one of our competitors. That's a conflict. You should be focused on just us.
I think if you can do it, why not? And in the moment, obviously, Red Bull owns two teams. That is, they are grandfathered in. They did it a long time ago.
Yes.
And I think it's the last commercial agreement where this is possible to do. When the next Concord agreement comes, it will be in there that you cannot have two teams. So it's like, if the opportunity arises, Mercedes says, let's buy it and see what, I mean, we have got the money, let's buy it, see what we can do with it. If we don't want it, we can always sell it, you know, who cares? And,
but
you
it's
know,
not
I think
Mercedes, it's Toto, right?
No, it's Mercedes. My understanding is it's Mercedes, yeah. So they say, let's buy it, we have got the money. We don't think it's getting worth less. Maybe it doesn't get worth more, but we just solidify our position there. Because in 31, this is not possible anymore. And if we don't do it now, we cannot do it. So let's try to do it and deal with the consequences afterwards, you know. Because, I mean, Zach was very outspoken a few years ago that you shouldn't have two teams. You know, in no other sport you're allowed to do that, by the way. Or
well,
not. Maybe not no other sport. I don't know any other sport.
Beyond what's possible, right? Like you're saying that it's possible. Why, from their perspective, why not try to do it?
Yeah.
Like Zach, and you know, he's got some skin in the game, obviously, but he's taken kind of like a moral stance. He says that like this shouldn't be allowed. It goes against the spirit of the sport. What do you think with regards to that? Just your own personal opinion. Should a team be able to have two teams on the grid?
I don't think it should. I don't think it should. You don't have it in other sports because then you could use it to your advantage because, I mean, you could. And you would. I mean, that's what I would be doing if I would be on two teams. If it's allowed, why not? You know, because you're not doing anything illegal. So, but I think we also have to understand why Red Bull ended up with two teams because in the end, they saved the team. You know, otherwise it wouldn't be around anymore because I was there when Mr. Mateschitz bought Minardi. So they were
and it was
done.
Before F1 was cool, dude.
Exactly, yeah.
Cool.
It was a money losing proposition.
Exactly, yeah. So he was the only one prepared to lose on two teams. So now to tell him, now you have to sell it because we don't like it, that would be not right, you know. So, but going forward, you shouldn't give the opportunity to someone else to do the same because you could end up with having two teams in Formula One. Because if all the big teams buy the smaller ones, then what's the competition? It's like you need to be watching that as well.
Yeah, no, it's it's apples and oranges. You know what Dietrich did and what they're going to do now.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. It's you cannot compare the times.
Okay, but you know what we can compare? Gas or brake. Let's get into our favorite segment.
The new regulations are great.
Gas. There is fighting out there. I mean, because there is nothing in our gas or brake. There is nothing in between. I think they are great because they will develop. They will get better. So I think we are in a good way.
But Guenther, what do you have to say to the Max Verstappens of the world, the Peter Windsors of the world? People say
it's not real racing.
They say it's not real racing. It's manufactured. People hate these regs. I mean, they hate them with a
Some people hate the regs. Some people hate the regs. You guys don't know what people said when the first sprint racer came, you know, and it's like we're doing a sprint race.
And,
I was there when the DNA of Formula One doesn't. The DNA changes over time as well, you know. DNA doesn't stay the same. It develops. It evolves, you know. So I think if it evolves, obviously nobody wants change. And obviously if Max would have a winning car, he would love these rules, you know. He would love them, you know. It's always the same. So I take it with a pinch of salt what he says. And I think Lando Norris's answer was pretty good when he told him, if he doesn't want to be here, we are pretty okay if he leaves, you know. I mean, You know,
Well, now
I personally would
Lando's
miss him.
hating these regs too because his team sucks. So it's
Because
like,
his car is shit, yeah, exactly, yeah. He doesn't even make it to the start, yeah. So,
That's right,
but
that's right.
that
His
shows
regs are
again,
terrible.
yeah, that shows again that it's all biased towards me. You know, if it works for me, it's good. If it doesn't work for me, it's shit. You know.
But what do you say to the pundits, not just the drivers?
I think most of the people, I would say 80% of the people, they don't really care about the wrecks. They like what they see on the racetrack. You know, they're nice cars. They're going fast. Overtaking is a little bit different, but how many people actually notice that one? You know, how many people go in too deep? The 20% which think because they have to guard the DNA of Formula One, they think they can now say to everybody, it's all shit. You know, they can say it, but nobody forces them to watch it. I always say you shouldn't spit in the plate you eat from. You know.
Sure.
It's like, yeah. It's like, guys, if you don't want it, fine, but do not try to make a living out of this by saying this is shit, you know?
Sure. I guess it's an interesting thing because what we have seen on track these first two races, we've had...
Wasn't bad, though, yeah.
Was not bad. We've had great moments on track. Certainly the Charles and Lewis battle in China was thrilling to watch, and they talked afterwards about how much fun they had doing it. So, you know, there is great racing to be had out there. I guess, you know, I guess going back to kind of what we were saying earlier about your opinion, like just you know, your opinion on it, like, because I think this is what people are getting at is it's like that having to slow down at the end of a straight, it goes against the spirit of the thing. Do you think that is true with these new regs at all?
I mean, the spirit, where comes the spirit from? If the spirit is still to put the fastest lap down. So how you do it, how it is achieved, that's a technicality. And for me, it's not disturbing what I see. You know, it's not that I say, wow, this is dull. If you don't know it, you wouldn't even notice it. And that's what it is. You know, I like what I see. That's why I say they're good. If I then go into, but should it be that they go in the turn faster or not? You know, is it true? But then again, you could say that to every regulation. Why they don't put bigger wings on or 2,000 horsepower in the car? Then we would go even faster. It's not a problem.
Limitations constantly. You're constantly making compromises and limitations. I agree.
Exactly.
More downforce you can't follow.
Matt, gas or brake?
Wait, I just want to ask you real quick, Guenther. Guenther. How do you feel? Are you upset? Are you troubled by the fact that the driver's saying they're not having fun? Does that trouble you?
No. If you're not having fun, stop doing it, because I normally stop doing things where I don't have fun.
Yeah,
but they still want to be there, you know, so they must have some kind of fun.
Also, does it matter if you're having fun? It's your job.
Yeah.
It's your job.
It's your job, and if you don't like your job, change job, you know. I mean, you live by your choices. You choose to be an F1 driver. If you don't want it, do something different.
Well, do you have to make millions of dollars and have fun? I mean, it's like at that point.
It looks like, you know. So, yeah.
All right, Matt, gas or brake?
I'm going gas. These races have been thrilling. The cars can follow. You know, whatever kinks there are, they can work out, and the nerds are mad. So I think it's a win-win-win.
Full gas, loving what I'm seeing on track. I think it'll only get better, and especially if these teams can start to develop their cars and everyone can be a little bit more on a similar playing field, like we saw with the Ferraris. When those are the same exact car, we saw great racing on track. Once the gap shrinks, I think we're only going to see more great racing on track. Next prompt.
Lewis will beat Charles in equal machinery.
Wow. Brake. I think what Charles has got on his side is his age. It's very close, but in the end, I think Charles will beat Lewis. That's my opinion. And I think the biggest thing for me is the age. If Lewis would be 10 years younger, maybe there would be something different. But, and it's not only the age that you're not as good physically and what you're doing. It's also, Lewis is 7-time world champion. Charles, you know how many? 0. So he's more hungry, more appetite. He has got more appetite.
Matt?
It's tough. I'm going gas. I like what I saw in China. He seems happy. He seems happier than Charles. Charles has been dealing with Ferrari forever. Lewis just got there. So in a way, he's younger. He's still in the honeymoon phase.
But we said in equal machinery. We didn't say at Ferrari. Equal machinery was the question. You again didn't listen to the gas and brake question.
I'm addressing the question. They're in equal machinery, but he is at the honeymoon period emotionally with Ferrari. So he's younger. Charles just got married, maybe a bit more distracted, Maybe going to think about starting a family. Lewis, locked in. Lewis is a guy, Lewis got a girlfriend. Got a girlfriend in Kim Kardashian. That's a young man right there with a girlfriend. Charles, old man with a wife. Lewis, young man with a girlfriend. I love it.
Yeah, honestly, took the words out of my fucking mouth. I'm going full gas. Charles going to be planning, he just did a pre-wedding. He's going to be planning a wedding this whole year. He's got other things on his mind. Lewis, married to the game, baby. He's married to the fucking game. And I also think they're going to be close to each other a lot. And I think, with the way that these gaps are, I think they're good. Charles's advantage on a Saturday, because I think that Charles has Lewis's edge on a Saturday. But if they're starting 3-4 every race, I kind of take Lewis Hamilton in race trim over Charles Leclerc. So I think that he'll be able to edge out a little bit more, because I think that, Charles, he feels like a Saturday specialist. Lewis, he's a Sunday king. That's what I like happening this year. Lewis Hamilton takes the driver battle in 2026. I like it. And I think he stays around for a long time. I think he wins a championship with Ferrari. I'm calling it now. Next prompt.
The FIA will intervene with Mercedes engine supremacy.
Brake. They cannot. It's governance, They cannot just say you need to do something different. It's a regulation. A governance is there. I mean, like with this compression ratio check, they needed to give a time, and other manufacturers needed to be all aligned with it, and there is always compromises made. And obviously they found a compromise which doesn't hurt Mercedes, but they cannot interfere and say, you need to change something. The only thing they could do, give the other manufacturer more development time. And if you are far behind, you get that actually, because I think Honda can now do some major changes because the engine is not as good as the other ones.
Wait, so the FIA can't just change rules?
No, just for safety. Just for safety they can change rules. And that is not a safety factor. If somebody has got a better engine, they cannot from today to tomorrow change anything. There's a governance in place, how that is all managed.
What about the safety of the viewer experience? What about the safety of the viewer experience, Guenther?
Yeah, with the safety of my experience, yeah.
The safety of watching good racing, of watching an exciting championship where there's a big threat to people not watching this fucking sport because of this engine supremacy. Anyway.
All right, so I guess brake if they can't do it.
We'll trust you on that.
If there's a way to declare some kind of emergency,
that's right.
Some kind of state of emergency, I think MBS could do it.
No.
That's right. Next prompt.
Ollie Behrman will get a podium this year.
Brake. He will get close to it, but I don't think he will make it because the gap is still, if he gets it, there would need to be something special, rain or a mass crash or something. Otherwise, just not doable because you've got 6 cars which are clearly better than anybody else. Not only Haas, than anybody else, I would say. If they get to the start, some of them don't make it to the start, but anyway. I think McLaren will fix that problem.
I'm going gas, but I got another gas or brake that I'm just throwing at you right now. This is Esteban Ocon's last year in Formula One. Gas or brake?
full gas if he continues like this. If he decides to take Colapinto out like he did in China, for sure is his last year, because that's not even a rookie mistake. That's just dumb,
Pretty bad. All right, Matt. Gas or brake on both of those, on Behrman and on Ocon.
I'm going gas on the podium. I think these reg sets are chaotic. Anything can happen. We could have a crazy retirement, crazy red flag. He could get lucky on. I mean, he's in the mix a lot. I think he could sneak onto the podium, given how good he is, and given the chaos. I think he could be there to pick up the pieces. He could be where Carlos Sainz was, sort of in the Williams situation. I could see him taking that kind of place, or even Hulkenberg.
Yeah.
Hulkenberg got a podium last year. He could be in that sort of spot.
I think the only difference I would say is the gap. It's last year they were all very close,
Right.
all the cars. This year, and therefore I was on the brake, because you just need that little bit more luck this year, because the gap is so big.
That's true. But my feelings don't care about your facts. And then I do think that Behrman is completely... Ocon's stock is completely plummeting next to Behrman. I mean, we saw it happen with Charles Leclerc did this to Ericsson. I mean, when these great rookies come in, they really they can ruin these guys' careers when they come in.
Yeah, I'm going double gas as well. I think that we just saw both McLarens not starting a race. You know what I mean? I leave room for the chaos of something like that happening. We've yet to see a Mercedes or a Ferrari have real true engine issues, and I think that will come for both of them at some point during the year. If it's enough of a perfect storm, I think that Behrman is going to be able to put himself in the right position to capitalize on that. So if it's going to be anyone, I think it's going to be Behrman. I think it's going to be Gasly. I think that they've both showed a real strength here. I like what I'm seeing from both of them. And, yeah, I think Ocon, if he's not gone this year, he's basically gone. I mean, that might just be like a contractual issue. Who are they going to replace him with? Are they really going to be able to get someone better? Behrman's not going anywhere for the foreseeable future if Lewis likes these regs. But I think that his time in Formula One is running out quick. Last prompt.
Max won't get a podium this season.
Brake. Max will get somehow to the podium. That guy, because it's Max. The guy is a monster, and then he will like the rules, the regulations. Please make it happen, so we don't hear him bitching,
Yeah, I'm going gas. I mean, even this race from hell, he just kept showing back up. The guy is relentless. Yeah, he's gonna claw his way to something.
I think he'll claw his way to something, but I don't know. We'll see how many he can get this year, because with the state of play over there, we'll see if they can make a jump in these next, after Japan in the next 5 weeks. If Red Bull can really make a jump, and if he can get a car that can actually be fighting at the front, and maybe at that point he says, it actually is. It's not so bad, these regs. We'll see what happens there. Okay, that does it for gas or brake. Guenther, Japan is coming up. We need your predictions for the Japanese GP. Guenther, what's your podium for Japan?
George, Kimi, Oscar.
Whoa.
Ooh.
Ooh. We need to put a little bit of spice in, because we cannot say that. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm doing Kimi, George, Lewis.
I'm doing Kimi, George, Leclerc. That's my podium. Lewis in fourth. You know what? Fuck it. I'm going Kimi, George, Lando, baby. Lando Norris gets on the podium in Japan. He comes back strong.
How is the standing in the moment of our... How is the standing?
Okay, so the standings.
Yes.
Currently, Guenther is in first with 13 points, and Brian and Matt, you're tied with 4 points each.
Okay.
Ooh.
Or it's early.
Okay.
It's early.
Early days.
Early.
We're like
Okay.
Williams and Audi right now.
Yeah.
Just fucking slugging it out.
Somewhere nowhere. Yeah.
Mercedes.
Oh,
You're like
not
Cadillac
safe
and
for
Aston
work
Martin.
over here, Matt,
Yeah.
with the feet. Get
Oh,
these
Jesus.
people. Take a screenshot, people. Okay, that does it for us. We will see you
Japan.
maybe next week. We're not sure
We'll
when our
see.
next episode with Guenther is going to be coming out, but it's going to be coming out soon. We'll definitely see you after Japan. We love you, Vankas.
Goodbye, wankers.
Goodbye, Vankas.
I'm a boss. I'm a red flag heavy hitter.